tweet with the link, like post it on the tweet and share. So there are different. It's really for if you have the streaming, and you can easily share, and you can easily share the link from there. So please
Just quality are they going to use? Just imagine, they'll say, oh, this case has been dismissed because of lack or lack of merit. So I'm just waiting for that to happen. It is very clear. Criminal rogues away from power because they've messed up this country. You just imagine Buhari that
To tell you the gospel truth, my emotion is around 1,000%. one thing we need to understand in this Niger, for a woman, is ready in that. I wants to do, just the same way that is going between Russia and and look at all the jargons that this man is bringing. Just shows to collect their country back. You will join those people that are benefiting from this corruption, right? So you to tell all those other people that feels that religion and tribalism is the most important thing, for them to understand that this man truly has nothing to offer. Rather, he will throw this country into chaos the more. Let me not talk about the borrowing and the policies and the whitewashing. Okay, let me just give me like, I will need extra 3 minutes. Let me just round up. In terms of the policies and the rest, now APC are trying to whitewash everything, because this one is something that is happening on ground. Because me personally, I engage people on ground, try to push the message on ground. Anytime I go out, they are trying to whitewash everything, to turn everything like as if it has never happened before. That's their new play. So we should put that in context. Now then, let's talk about the judiciary. For me personally, the judiciary should do the right
Sorry,
thing.
can you round up?
Should do the right
Sorry,
thing.
can you round up?
Yeah, let me
15
just
seconds.
round up. The I swear to Almighty God, none of them will go out of it.
All right, thank all right, but for now, let's quickly go to area story. Then we'll come to Fuga. Area story, are you there? All right, I don't think it's there. Fuga, please go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are spacing from. I want to say a big thank you to 1MMC for all you are doing, for keeping Nigeria active, for keeping them aware, for letting them hold our leader, in Nigeria. The judiciary, do you hear what I say? And the women in Nigeria and obedient. So the matter of and is a constitutional issue. So there is no way out. That is all I want to tell them. For the president-elect who think he can look for legitimacy by being a puppet to the Western leaders to be used by the United States, because we have seen that those people forget about Nigeria going all over the world excelling. Brother, they don't have our interests. This has shown us, and we should start firm. And you don't think that Nigeria, Nigeria want to take that we are not in support of whatever decision that illegitimate president Nigeria people, we are not in support. So from the way I view this case, the judiciary, let them prove me wrong.
and so in all honesty, the PDP legal team uphold it. The extent is even uphold it. The extent is even it's too far reaching. And I usually tell people that I follow. Like I usually tell people, you didn't follow Ahmed Lawan. Follow Ahmed Lawan. You didn't follow Pusotima. You didn't rephrase it, and you'll be good to go. And you expect the court to uphold it. Like afternoon the next day. Afternoon, what's the next day? That same day. You already get afternoon. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, this was serious. Dealing with any element of surprise, or I don't have. Immediately the judiciary declares the wrong thing. Immediately.
They say, I no gree, I no gree. Now in the tear shirts. I believe, say, at this point, we did for the point of I no gree, I no gree. They are trying to usurp the constitution. Now, Shebi the man won't turn this into 30. I don't know. I think that video is about a decade now, if not so, or more, or almost. Niger, the people are hailing them. That's why I pity anybody who wants to carry a troop, to that country. Because you'll be doing yourself a great disservice when the people
There's not much update. I think most of was just going on is just back and forth here and there. But all the this is tech. Sanfabimi. Is now up. Fabimi. Smile and say, my Lord, we just want to do it. Maiduguri, but also from Abia. The fourth respondent also adopts two documents, which are the arguments on objection to admissibility and the reply was filed on the 23rd against the first respondent's objection. He now moves the court and adopts the on argument of objections. Jumbotron, I think, is the second suite on the Jumbotron, yeah. Where I had to point that that's the reason why at some point I think they were saying no, even as petitioner they will file only one. So and San went over different issues. So I don't know how that makes sense. I don't know if it's without due respect. But anyway, like I said earlier on this, don't be surprised what you will read out there. You know all these are our young ones. So I said this earlier, I said for whether and I think it's really on social media, because when it says when Point is that it simply means every time that we say they are listening, they are reading, and when we tell people, oh, mind the kind of narrative you put out there, it's for a reason. You know, let them know, I mean, make it clear to them that we are not as we are back, Supreme Court handle the person where they the person where they handle that where they the person where they handle that with other party apostrophe apostrophe s written address. The party beginning shall within 7 days file is written address, which means you reply one party's written address. That's you file
Nigerians across the globe. The black race is rising. Crazy. I know those men and women There are people in a judicial system of Nigeria. Not occupied by human beings than Nigeria, because their population is 25.25 million people. And now Nigeria, about 5 of them. Out of from the 6 that are is still another death zone that is taking its root in that to any country that become vulnerable. Created by the West. It is France. Why all the problems in Anglophone African nations is all orchestrated by UK government and the American.
I'll just make a point. I think well-meaning to come out. Uh, they are the ones that are
Document tendered by the first respondent. uh, of July 2023. To the second respondent. To the admissibility of documents of the second and third respondent was filed on the 25th which was filed on the 25th of July 20. In respect to the drive to read some of them, but what I can just tell you is that the objections lacked a lot, even and now they are also now adopting their replies to LP objections. So just for people to get that, that's what that's kind claimed by the petitioners with non-compliance with the Electoral Act with the used for introduced and for what purpose? Again and again for performance. It continues that the application was hosted on AWS and the intention of INEC to deliver on a transparent and credible so that I'm trying to model the water up. I want to see if there's extra. Actually made plans for a collation system. You said?
I said maybe it's your phone.
Nah, I'm using the laptop, not found. And Sam Mahmoud goes ahead and say, "Thank you, my lord, my." As Okay, so let me point this out. So there were 3 issues for determination, right? INEC attempted to argue for Tinubu. If you read LP's reply to INEC, they actually called out INEC to say it's unfortunate that INEC, after saying that they were not aware of what disqualifies Tinubu, attempted to defend him, even on draw case, instead of them to just say that does not have anything to do with them. So now they are coming here to do other arguments, and they are just going to say, okay, we you took over 5 pages of your written address to be defending a draw case. So that they don't want to talk about that one again, so they are jumping to B. To ensure that the technology functions as designed, and only point and they are calling the Supreme Court a liar. The Supreme Court actually affirms that the INEC electoral claim that from their agents to prove the 18,088 blood result. My lord, the petitioners brought the glitch, which was that has never been the intention of the Constitution. Sister Mani, your time is up. AB Mahmood, my time for my submission is up. He goes ahead and says, my lord, let me take it that the petitioners have no
Their own certified true copy.
So okay. Printed by this prof himself, quote unquote. So LP went ahead to ask INEC, by the Electoral Act, you can demand from INEC their public documents, anything you want to prove your case. But of course, INEC tries to frustrate you and all that. So what has happened is that LP demanded from INEC that INEC should provide them with results from IREV, printed results from IREV. So LP turned out some EC8As, that the physical copy EC8As. Then also asked INEC to, provide them results from IREV and paid for it. Not for every state. I think it was for specific states and all that. So INEC brought, printed, gave it to LP, certified it. The one that INEC certified for LP alone, which, like I said, not for all the states in Nigeria, just for specific states. I think it was really just to prove the case that even because if the blood result that was tendered was only from LP, I mean, in court, they might say it's not certified true copy, who knows, the professor did whatever. There might be some small ground for fraud. Indeed printed and brought it. Of course, maybe when they were printing, they didn't know what LP wanted to do with it. So, and in many cases, not results. They certified things that were not results. I think there's, let me see. Okay, I thought that was an update. Okay, I think I've read all this part before. Okay, like Yusuf Maxwell said, goes ahead and lectures on the beavers. Secondly, of course, he talked about the glitch, relation to the glitch. LP provided evidence that you did a test. You had so many insecurity. You had so many, that it was not secure. You left it like that. You came and claimed that, no, you rectified the security issues that were identified, but you did not provide any evidence to say, after we rectified it, we did another test and see the new test that we did that is better. Another thing you did is you provided something you call CloudTrail log, and your witness attested to things that should be on the CloudTrail log, and those things are not on what you presented as CloudTrail log. And I mean, I think it will take the judiciary calling Nigerians a lot of stupid before they can. For me, some of these things are really annoying. Anyway, since the petitioner failed to establish a human interference in the glitch, their claim should also fail. He further notes that the IREF was the public but not part of the election collation system. He knows that the petitioners failed to prove how the failure to upload affected the collation process. Is that not even crazy? I mean, if you follow this case, like I said earlier, Rivers State alone, before we even go to Benue, before we even go to other states where Peter Obi's vote was reduced, or the vote doesn't tally, and which was tendered by LP's witness. So it's crazy. I don't know why this lawyer just actually, okay, they are lawyers. INEC admits that they didn't claim that there was a problem with AWS, but that their claim was that the problem was with the application, which had a glitch, which was not unusual. So they don't finally agree on AWS. Why does one qualified AWS witnesses? which was not unusual and not as a result of human interference. You say it's a glitch. Explain, you know, explain. You are only saying what it is not. You are not saying what it is. I don't know what kind of people are this one. He further notes that the claim of 18,000 result goes to no issue, as this blood result did not in any way suggest that the original results, copies of the result are blood. UC Marks in bracket says, but they failed to provide to prove it. So even they did not. So if LP is saying the original results, look at the result. I think INEC also has a bad lawyer, because the implication of what LP did is that LP brought results that came from the IRF, and they got INEC witness to agree that what is on the IRF should be equal to what is on the hard copy. So what LP is saying is that, okay, we brought the one from the IRF, the witness has already said it should be the same with what is on the hard copy. So court assume it is the same because they have said it is the same. It was now left for INEC to go and produce the original result to say, no, we have custody of the original result. It is not the same. But of course, they can't present it because it will mess their case up. And they didn't present it. But yeah, they are coming to, you want to discountenance something, but you are not bringing anything to discountenance it. It stated that the blood tendered results by the petitioners were only for dramatization, as INEC did not know why. Oh, as INEC did not know why they were blood. Oh no.
Well,
This guy will have this.
yeah.
The INEC did not know why the result of blood was blood. Though I've been saying INEC knows, they know what they don't know, but they don't know what they know. Okay. He knows that the glitch that occurred for 4 hours, 50 minutes did not in any way affect the result, and they didn't prove this. He now urges the courts to discountenance the argument of the petitioners on non-compliance. On 25%, which I think I already read, Mahmoud knows that the only issue in relation to 25%, the provision of Section 134, he knows that the principle of constitutional interpretation are well settled, as the court must not adopt or approach that will manifest grave absurdity or go against the intentions of the lawmakers. And that the voters in the result. All right. So there are so many updates. So that's why I'm trying to switch. So I'm back to Sarah's updates. The place I stopped last time is the courtroom is looking. So of course, Olani Pekun, right? Remember I said that Olani Pekun says, "My lord, let us take it that the petitioners have no case." Yes, because they don't have a case here. The courtroom is looking at them like, who are these ones? He goes ahead and says, look at Exhibit X1, pages 22 and 23 of the decision of the Supreme Court, that this Exhibit X1 settles the matter, and it's the case of APC versus Labour Party and others. It's very fresh, and it is very fresh. Oh, wait, and it's very fresh from the oven. Let me go to hype. Let me go to hype being made on fine. Okay. APC versus Labour. I'll check that out. Let me go to the hype being made on fine, and let me draw your attention to section 137(1)(d) of the Constitution. And we have made submissions, and it says he is under a statement of debt. It is simple grammar. He didn't say he was. God, oh. He says he is under. It's present tense, present continuous. Oh my God. This is I say Limao. Sanquin Premier English. Okay, this is even this is even sorry, so it's Sarah. My lord, the law says 10 years after any offense is gone. So even though there is anything, the law has cleared it. This is the Constitution. And in secondary school, we are taught past tense and past participle and present tense. Hey, don't go. Anyway, I think when we get more updates, I'll go through that.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, you got it right, inshallah. Hello.
Yeah, please, it's your turn to speak. You can go ahead and speak.
All right. Women, one MMC. You guys are really trying, and really appreciate your efforts. The fact that you've been following the court case back to back, and you have been giving us updates. And even the justices can see that there is no place for them to hide. They know everything is going on, and we can see everything they are doing. That's nice. One thing I will state here is APC and Tinubu made a very big mistake, because the very first mistake they made was underrating Peter Obi. So they underrated him. They didn't expect him to be this big. And that was why initially they never planned to rig any election initially. Because Tinubu was thinking it was going to be the normal thing between Atiku and Tinubu, APC, PDP thing. So, but when they started seeing, in the middle of the election, they started seeing the way things are going, that was when they started their rigging plan. So this gave room for everything that we are seeing. The same mistake they made during the election is still the same thing they are making in court, because they believe it's going to be the usual way of come and argue. Because if you read their first address that they first filed before Labour Party responded, they were more concerned about, they said the petitioners did not talk about votes, bullying, all these violences, all those things. That was what they were expecting. And that was the reason INEC refused to give Labour Party the documents they are asking of, because they feel if you get to court and you don't have anything to prove, then there is no case. Little did they know that P2B was not preparing for the election. He was preparing for the court case. So the only one thing I noticed with Labour Party is Labour Party didn't go into the election to perform election. They went there to collect evidences. And that is what they are doing in court. And that is what APC did not even expect. So initially, when I saw their first address that Labour Party responded to, I was even like, okay, now you have a very good ground to fight, until the response and everything was coming and it was not even making sense. This case, we've already won this case already, and I don't think anybody should even fret over that. Even the justice, they know that this case is a no-no. There's nothing the PC can do to this. That's that on the adoption of address and the PEPT. Now, one thing I wanted to say is I wanted to ask women and MMC, like, what are you doing concerning? I think we should give more publicity to the Constitution of Nigeria concerning recalling senators and House of Rep member. It has never been done in Nigeria, but the Constitution gave an avenue for us to recall senators and House of Rep member. Because if I will be honest with you, what Labour Party representative in both the red chamber and green chamber are doing is not making sense. Because we thought they would go there for change, and nobody could even question Wiki or any of the senators, and everybody was just taking it like that. It's not making sense, and this is not the reason why we voted them in. And I think is that it is high time we started looking at the Constitution and the power the Constitution gives to the citizen. Once we start making publicity concerning this, that we can recall you, we can recall any senator or House of Rep member. It is possible. The Constitution gives us the room for it. So once they know that we are aware of this knowledge, they will sit up because they know that they can recall them. So I think we can. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, and I think the lawyers here can, if there's any lawyer, and if you permit, they can shed more light on it. How possible is it to recall a senator or a House of Rep member with the Constitution? I think we should start working towards that now. Don't let they have the feeling like they have 4 years to do what they want to do. They can pack as much as money in 4 years. But I think the Constitution gives us the room to record them. So if they know that these people is aware, the citizens are aware that they can record senators and House of Rep, I think they will sit up. And this is particular with the new Labour Party officials, or let me say senators and House of Rep that we picked. Because there is no point if they are going to be like the next Akpabio or Ahmed Lawan. It does not make sense. Then what are we trying to do in Labour Party? So I think we should try as much as possible to enforce that and give publicity to the power of the citizen that the Constitution gives to us. So thank you so much. I submit.
All right, thank you very much. I think that's Ishola. Ishola, I'm not so sure. I didn't catch all of the questions. Today's going to be fun. Oh boy. I think today's going to be very, very interesting. I can't wait to get used to Maxwell and a couple of people in court to come and say what they heard. All right. I'll just continue. Okay, Ishola, I think I know I heard you talking about recalling, the process for recalling a National Assembly member. Is that what you were talking about, Ishola?
Yes, that was my second point. Yes.
Okay. I mean, that process is it's a crazy process, but it's not impossible. So I usually tell people that if it's something that if you want to do, it's something that if any constituency wants to do it, they have to be all out, because it's a crazy process. So the way it is that the way the Constitution does recall is that if you want to recall a National Assembly member, you will need to get its signature of at least 50% of the numbers of voters registered in that constituency. Take note. 50% of the number of people that are registered, voters that are registered in that constituency, not 50% of the voters that voted on the election day for that person. So I think I had some discussion with some of, I think it was Mr. Tony sometime recently, because he was there. So we're just gisting about something. I said, one of the things I said was that the reasons why we need Peter Obi as president, there are too many. Truth is, I say this every time, the first reason for me is so that Peter Obi should come and power a system that will set our electionary process right. So that after that, in a couple of years, we will be free to elect in House of Rep people that we want. Right? And by the time we elect them, we can also push them to change that particular part of the constitution. That part of the constitution is rigged against the citizens. Because, I mean, it's possible, but like I said, it's ultimately difficult. Do you know why? On election day, the people that come out to vote in constituencies are not up to 50% of registered voters on election day. If you go by INEC's fake result in this past election, over about 25 million people came out to vote, even if that's false. And that's out of 90-something registered voters. Oh, sorry, that's not out of 90-something, 90-something thousand registered voters, or 10-something million registered voters, and over 80-something thousand those that collected PVC. But if you take that in terms of percentage, according to INEC's fake result, it means people that came out to vote in this past election were not up to 30% of people. But the Constitution is telling you that for you to recall a National Assembly member, you need to get the signature of 50% of the registered voters, which means you know that out of that 30% of people that came to vote, it's not all of them that haven't voted the man, the person that went there. But they haven't saying you need to get over 50% of the registered voters in that particular place. So I think, like I always tell people, if you want to do, like any constituency that wants to do that, you would know that you are going all out. Of course, it's usually easier when maybe the governor in your state is also, not a friend of that person, so they can't frustrate whatever you are doing and all that. But I mean, those are like, later conversations. Let me continue from where I stopped on the updates.
Yeah, I was just going to buttress the last point you made. Yahaya Bello actually tried to recall Dino Melaye. And because he had the logistics, he could scale the first hurdle. And I guess he probably just grabbed the register and signed for over half the number of people there. But when it got to the actual thing, even though they had Dino locked up, more people said no than said they couldn't get the numbers to push it through. But yes, we've had that. They tried it in Plateau, but it didn't go forward for Senator Mantu as well. So it's what it is at the moment. It's not good. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much, Okwakaji, for that. I think that really buttressed it, because you can imagine, even when a governor that's like power wanted to do it, like wanted to push for it, how frustrating it was. Man, people don't know what they need to change in Nigeria. I think people just think Nigeria's problem is just, abado, rice, and the problem in Nigeria is thick. And the earlier we get someone that can start softening it, like reducing it. Peter Obi, to be honest, let me just tell you, Peter Obi can also solve up to 50% of Nigeria's problem. But the good thing is that the day we have a leader that starts solving those problems, take note of the word starts. The day we have a leader that starts solving that problem, our problem will be solved in Nigeria. That's the day to stop. That's why I usually tell people that every problem we have in Nigeria, everything we have in Nigeria now, the beginning of the end of the problem, which means where the end of the problem starts, or rather where the beginning of how that problem is going to end, is currently in the appeal court. So if you really, really, really want a better Nigeria, your eye should be on the appeal court. It's not I look at people that your eyes should be on the Appeal Court. If you really want to change Nigeria, that's where your eyes should be. If you can get, once you can get Peter Obi in power, and as president, he starts to change some things. Even something as simple as diaspora voting alone. You don't know what it will influence in Nigeria. So let's just really hope that the court does the right thing. What's at stake is enormous. I think I told Uncle Tony one of these days, one of the spaces we host is something regarding what's at stake. Let's really break it down, see what's at stake if the court does the wrong thing. All right.
Please, can I have something, please? I'm very sorry. Can I?
All right. Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
1 minute, please. I think the next time we'll be hosting Peter Obi. I wish Emir Saddam is also here. So I think instead of asking Peter Obi questions about campaigning that we asked last time, I think it is high time that we had the list of what we want and give it to him. This is what we want. If you become president today, we want you to move this motion or start working on how to change this constitution. This particular aspect of constitution is against the citizen. I think it's high time we started making that list. So instead of coming and say, if you are the president today, what are you going to do concerning economy? No, this is what we want. We are the people, and I think we should start holding. We are all in the spirit of accountability, right? And our president is also supporting that. So I think next time we'll be holding him on space, or maybe that T or any representative of the Labour Party. Let them make them talk like, okay, this is what we want. How are we going to address that? How are we going to do this for us?
All right. So Ishola, let me correct something you just said very expressly, because I was a core part of the people on that space that day, and I kind of know more than probably what people know outside platform. So first of all, I mean, I think it's really futile if, you know, we brought Peter Obi to his space and had him for 3 hours and we are telling him, sir, this is what we want. This is what we want. Believe me, Peter Obi knows what, I mean, maybe not 100%.
1 minute, thinking about it, what he wants might not be exactly what I want at the end of the day. So if we're going to say, oh, this is what
exactly,
it doesn't align with what another person wants. So it doesn't really work that way. So
So Ishola, just to really clarify that, the main thing that space needed to do was to buttress the fact that if we had Peter Obi sworn in from May 29th, we wouldn't be where we are now. I think that's like the sum, that's the long and short, and which was firmly established that day. And all that. All right, let me just go to the second and third respondent. From UC Maxwell's end, he said, okay, they filed their written address in July and also filed a reply to the petitioner's final written address on 21st. They also filed list of authorities and so on. Hold on, I want to be sure if I'm not reading something. Okay, all right. So they now humbly apply to the court to admit and throw away the case of the petitioner as gross abuse of court. Let someone get me the video of Wike saying, you dey smoke Igbo. That's this Maxwell that added that one. He said, he notes that under the law, the petitioners have no address and they have abandoned their case. He draws the attention of the court to the title of the petitioner's written address as a response to the second and third respondents, and not a written address in proof of their case. He will now adumbrate on 3 areas. If you notice, INEC jumped that first area because LP have called them out. So now they didn't try to defend Tinubu again. So that's why you notice that they, Olani Peku can try to, all right, can try to address it. All right, so they will now adumbrate on 3 areas. First, non-compliance. It drew the attention of the court to paragraph 1.2 to 1.8 on the pages 9 to 10 of their main address, where they overflowed the issue that the upload to IRF is not part of the collation process for the purpose of declaration of results, as all processes are done physically in the polling unit where results are entered in the result sheet. He further refers the court to the exhibits I just laughed. In like say don't forget, say LP INEC witness tell them say and snapped. He further refers the court to the exhibit X1, which is the judgment of a superior court given at the instance of LP, who challenged INEC that the court should declare superior court here. That the court should declare that INEC should transmit and judgment was given against LP and there was no appeal. That rather than appealing, they went to the Federal High Court, APC versus INEC and LP in Lagos. And the court condemned the action by stating that Exhibit X1 settles the matter. I don't know what this one is saying. This man, they are still clinging to where the court said INEC has the right to publish. I don't know why they don't understand that. I really just hope that, you know, because the way all these lawyers they do this, they make me think, say, be like, say all these judges, you know, because if these judges read half of what they have been writing, they will know. So I don't know that say the judges know they read. Maybe now why they do the write them like this. Anyway, fine of 460,000. It draws the court's attention to section 137(1)(d) of the Constitution that the wordings used in the Constitution is that he is under, which is a present tense. I think I talked about it. Not that he was, but is presently under. He goes to 137 of the Constitution stating that even if there was a sentence, he went to E now. Even if there was a sentence before, he is given a pardon after 10 years. Please get me that wicked video at this point. You see what I'm saying? Say, please, somebody should get him. You dey smoke Igbo. You dey smoke Indian hemp. Okay, going forward, I said on 25% in FCT. I'll read Sarah's one. I think Tusi Maxwell is quite summarizing. On 25% in FCT, he said he knows that they've made submissions in the alternative. Okay, this is the interesting part I was waiting for. Please, everybody, listen to Olani Pekun. He notes that they've made submissions in the alternatives, but we now make the submission in bended knees. Quote, in bended knees. That the votes needed to be divided by 2/3. I'm so pissed. Before doing 1/4 of the votes cast in the FCT. He refers to Awolowo versus Shagari's case. You see Maxwell in brackets. Okay, not believe me. You see Maxwell in brackets says, seriously, I'm very pissed. So for people that saw my tweet this morning, where I said Olani Pekun is the dullest lawyer I have ever seen, and I don't think I will ever see. Apologies to Festus Keyamo. I think on that list, Olani Pekun is the last. Festus Keyamo is just on top of him. As in, I can't. It is crazy. He knows that if the petitioners want 25% to apply to FCT separately, the 2/3 should also be applied to the number of votes. If further, so at this point of this case, the court shouted, and I think it's in Sarah's update. He further argues that the petitioners does not have local standing because the law provides for one among the remaining candidates. Please look at the jumbotron. I think I saw this coming. I be prophets now. I don't see future. The first tweet on the jumbotron by the right. It is why I made that tweet this morning. In fact, that was why I said this guy was a very tall guy. He further argues that the petitioner does not have local standing because the law provides that one among the remaining candidates, he knows that PDP should participate should there be a runoff and not LP. He further argues that the petitioners are trying to jump the queue. Finally, Wole Olani Pekun's son knows that there is no connection or nexus between the petitioners and their relief sought. He therefore urges the court to dismiss the petition as a jurisprudential fiction and notes that he is on bended knees Yusuf Maxwell said, you will be on bended knees when we will be declared the winners. I would like, I want to explain, buttress on this last point that this guy raised. I'm just trying to hold myself from insulting this guy. Listen. So what Oladipo is saying is that what Tinubu requires is 25% of 2/3 of the votes in FCT. So what Oladipo is saying is that you divide all the votes in FCT into 3. You will take out one portion, add the remaining 2 portions. That if Tinubu's vote is up to 25% of that remaining 2 portions, Tinubu have gotten the 25% that is required. He makes reference to Awolowo and Shagari's case. If people were on violence space and on this space, the day that the written address was released, I made an extensive submission on that space. And this is where I said that Olanipeku lied. Like, he lied outrightly. And I think if I was a judge, I would be so pissed. I would be so pissed at what happened here. Olanipeku lied outrightly. Because if you remember, in the initial written address, Olanipeku made it seem like if, what the court decided in Awolowo versus Shagari was that Awolowo's 19.something% is just only lacking with 0.5%, so it does not matter. If you remember, go and read it. I'm sure some of you remember. Now, he now changed it. Because, do you know why? He has gone back to now read that, what he said there was wrong. That case was not related to approximation, was not related to the number is intangible. That case was totally different because then what happened was that then there was no 25% in FCT. It was just get 25% in 2/3 of the states of the federation. So the court interpreted it in a funny manner that 25% of 19 states is 12 and 2/3 of one state. So they said since Shehu Shagari had gotten 12 states and now getting 2/3, what only needs to get 25% of is 2/3 of one other state, which at that time was Kano. So it was not with this. I think that happened at the appeal. Then the Supreme Court, and do you know when the judges, I was going to say this earlier when I was going to talk about the replies from Tinubu and Shetima. When the judges were going to make that ruling, they agreed that that particular law, that particular part of the constitution is clumsy. It is why it is one reason, and LP stated it in their written address. That is one reason why the amenders of the constitution amended that part and now made it clear. In 2/3, you need to have 1/4 of the votes cast in 2/3 of the states of the federation. Sorry, in each. Because if you add the word each, it changes everything. Like Datin Baba Ahmed said. In each of 2/3 of the states of the federation and the FCT. Oladipo is coming to say, what you just need is 2/3 of the FCT, right? Which is funny. Someone told me there was a remark. I think I'll get it from. There was a remark that one of the justices made after I made this submission. And to go further, which is why, I mean, if you look at Jumbotron, I think I already knew this was coming and I had to pin that on Jumbotron since. The 2 tweets there. One of the tweets explains, okay, I think something related to this. Why the other one explain what I want to explain now. He now went further to say that LP does not have local standing, that LP will not benefit from 25%. That even if the court wanted to disqualify Tinubu on 25%, LP will not be part of the runoff. My brothers and sisters, I put it on you that Olanipeku is lying. What the constitution said, he misconstrued it. It's just that if you go to the tweet I made, you will see, I placed 4 pictures there. You will see what Olanipeku, how he tried to misconstrue the constitution, rephrase the word. Then I placed a picture of the constitution itself. You will see what the constitution says. The constitution says the person that will participate in a rerun is the person that has scored majority of votes in the highest number of states. Majority of votes in the highest number of states. And if you really want to know what majority of vote is, which I already stated earlier, majority of vote is 25%. Just go and Google the meaning of majority in law. Go to Google now you're on this page. Just type meaning of majority in law. You will see that meaning of majority in law from even Cornell School of Law in the US means 25%. From even Black's Law Dictionary means over 50%. In fact, Black's Law Dictionary put it like this. Let me just read what Black's Law Dictionary said, because I put out that tweet this morning. Black's Law Dictionary said, when I'm going to read from somewhere, it said, when there are only two candidates, he who received the greatest number of votes is said to have majority. Of course, there are only two candidates. It means you have a higher vote. So if you have, for you to have more vote than the next person, it must have meant at least that you had 51% and the person had 49%. If both of you had 50-50, there's no majority, there's no minority, it's equal. So for you to have majority of votes if there are two candidates, it means you have more votes than the next person. He now said, when there are more than two competitors for the same office, this is Black's Law Dictionary, or related to Black's Law Dictionary, like I said. He said, the person who received the greatest number of votes has plurality, but he does not have majority. I need people to understand this. So, Oladimeku wants to ruffle everything up. He wants to say, if there's going to be a rerun, I think one more state than Peter Obi, according to INEX results, and I mean run off now, and I'm just trying to explain really for academic purpose, not that it matters. So that people that will carry that whole conversation later will know that even academic purpose doesn't say this guy is outrightly lying. So he's trying to say, oh, I think we had one more state than Peter Obi according to INEC results. So if there was going to be a runoff only based on 25%, because he's talking only based on 25%, because normally they don't disqualify Tinubu, but let's imagine based on 25%. If there was going to be a runoff, what this guy is saying is crazy. Because he's saying that Atiku will be the one to participate because he won the highest number of states. My brothers and sisters, what the Constitution said was not that, it did not say one of the remaining candidates who had the highest number of votes in the highest number of states. It said categorically, clearly, one of the other candidates that had majority of votes in the highest number of states. Even the Constitution, minus the dictionary, the Constitution in section 133 defined the meaning of majority. Majority is yes or no. There's no in majority is either once you can only get majority of votes when you get over 50%. And that's why I was reading Black's Law Dictionary, where it said when there are more than two competitors for the same office, the person who received the greatest number, which is what Atiku had in 19 states according to INEC, the person who received the greatest number of votes has a plurality, but he does not have majority unless he receives a great number of votes than those cast for all other competitors combined. I didn't know why I did not screenshot that part. Add it to my screenshot. If you Google it, if you Google the meaning of majority in Black's Law Dictionary, you will see it said all its competitors combined. So which simply means for you to have majority, it means that you would have had 51% at least, or 50-point-something%. All your other competitors, we share the remaining 40-something% that is remaining. The only candidate that had that in this election between Peter Obi and Atiku is Peter Obi. Go and check it. The picture is on that tweet on the Jumbotron. The analysis is there. Peter Obi had over 50% in 7 states and the FCT making it 8 locations. Atiku had over 50% in 5 states. So Oladimeku, even here, is still lying. No, I don't know if he's lying or just understanding it. And it's really pissing me off. Sorry, I think I'm ranting now. Ngozi. All right, let's leave Ngozi. Henry, okay, please go ahead.
Thank you very much. I want to salute all our participants on this program today. Earlier in the day when I tried to connect, my battery gave up and I wasn't able to continue. So I'm very grateful for the opportunity again to speak to this august body. And I want to call our attention to an area. I'm not very conversant with the written replies. I cannot talk on that myself. But I want to appreciate the efforts our moderators are doing to explain these things to us. I think that's largely the duties of our lawyers, of the LP lawyers and Peter Obi's lawyers, to make sense of these things for us. What I would want us to focus on is what the body of obedience worldwide can do to improve our leverage on the party LP. In the morning, the discussion centered much more on this issue. And up till now, I have not seen any, or I was not part of any discussions that gave a clear-cut path for the obedient movement worldwide to impact the decisions of Labour Party going forward for these off-season governorship races and any other races that can come out of the electioneering, petition process. There is something lacking in the representation, the amount of say obedience worldwide have on issues in Labour Party is to no significance. When you consider that the leverage which Labour Party, for the first time in the history of its formation as a political party in Nigeria, the first time they had opportunity to impact in the elections of the general elections of Nigeria, is this advent of Peter Obi cum the worldwide obedient movement. But take for instance, the primaries for governorship candidates in Imo State, where I belong last, it was purely the old Labour Party, the old Labour ESCO party, because those of us who are basically, because in this thing, because of Peter Obi and the obedient movement, we came too late in the day to make the list of ESCOs of the party. And when finally they decided they had to have one delegate from every ward, the old traditional LP members, the older members, claimed the right exclusively, no matter how you said from the time you joined this thing. They said no, people who just came yesterday in their language cannot just come there over their head and pick the ticket. So they appropriated it themselves. And the result...
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey, I was hoping you round up. I didn't want to interject again.
Hello?
But
the issue, okay, let me, summary of what I'm going to, where I'm going to.
so I was hoping you round up, because I think you are going to like issues that are not related to it. We are not talking about Labour Party, their structure, what they are doing. So if you want, I really don't want to bring up a conversation that will derail this conversation today. So please, you can just try to round up. Henry, are you there? Henry, hope you are not talking.
So what are you pointing out? I want to understand. Hello?
Okay, what I'm saying is that, you are talking about Labour Party, how you wanted to be something in Labour Party, time was late. I understand all that. I'm just saying that conversation is not for today. Do you understand?
I get you. I get you. But we don't always get this opportunity to state important things we should put in place. I wish you would give me 1 minute to round up. What I'm saying, right from the beginning, we insisted we begin to form a structure. Up to now, we are decentralized. Our so-called, our obedient movement is decentralized. We have no way of impacting decisions within the party, and it's very important. Look at the Edo system we are going there now. If the old members do it the way they did the one of Imo, I don't know this chance our candidates stand in that place. But we must look at these things and begin a register of all obedience. Let's all be a structure within Labour Party. That's the bottom line of what I'm saying. Let us
Okay.
take measures to create a structure of obedience within the Labour Party. That way we can impact decisions. Otherwise, it will go the way it's been there. A lot has been said about how they are running Labour Party. And I can assure you, there's no difference between what APC and PDP are doing in their parties. And that shouldn't continue in Labour Party. Thank you. I yield.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Good point. Okay, let me just go back to the updates. So from where we stopped, this is from Sarah. So I want to read something similar to what she said. Well, Sarah has a way of putting the court's reaction, and this is the serious guy. Sarah is the jiggy person. And there's also, I usually switch between Sarah and UC because that is like a thread. There's also Pearls. Pearls has a way of combining it in such a way that Pearls is also very cool. Then there's Distinguish. But of course, I don't want to be boring you with 4 readings, so that's why I try to just stick with 2 that just presents it in different perspectives. All right. So remember Sarah's stuff from the old English was, when, is, past tense, present tense. So continue from there. Said, my lord, on 25%. Let me say this. On bended knees, but he's still standing, according to Sarah. My lord, on bended knees, Baba, you are standing, My lord, FCT is like every other state. It is a state. My lord, again, the first petitioner has no local standing. Okay, Sarah did not even do that whole explanation of 25%. No local standing, because the Constitution has taken him out of participating in any election rerun, if it were going to be, because the candidate must be the candidate who has the highest. Please, you guys should go to the Constitution. No, make it not be like say with the smoke of this country. Must be the candidate who has the highest number of votes among one of the remaining candidates, which is PDP, which has the majority of votes in the states cast in the election. He is not, so he cannot even be in any rerun. See Baba the beg for rerun. Which kind of one? We don't want rerun. Who's the mad? This can't TV or this one. Just making the best. Anyway, sorry. Sorry, I think my screen went out. Yeah, okay. Lastly, to show that he's not a member of Labour Party, exhibit that shows he cannot run because he's not a member of the Labour Party. He cannot push the second respondent and claim second. Justice Samani. But if you are entering in a bus, everybody, the whole courtroom is laughing. People in this courtroom, like, they laugh. Me, I'm not sure I will laugh. But this time, I feel the face of this guy. Sarah says, Limao, APC is begging for rerun, but they don't want Peter Obi to contest. Why are they afraid? All right, so now it's APC lawyer's turn. APC lawyer is up. Let me try to read it from this Maxwell's. And APC lawyer, so Elufa Bemi is up, and Elufa Bemi stand knows that they file their written address, blah blah blah. Let me leave all this part. He now seeks to adopt the oral adumbration of Abi Mahmoud San and their leader, and their lead, our okay, PDP said their leader, Wole Olanipekun. So I said, okay, now Wole Olanipekun be their leader for this respondent. He knows that the petition is ambitious. How do you adopt and still go ahead and talk? First, upload / electronic transmission. He knows that this is the forthcoming of the petitioners on this same issue. That they went to the court in relation to Exhibit X1, they went to the High Court in Lagos, and finally to the appeal where they lost. He knows that unless there is an appeal which overturns the decision, then the case is to no effect. It's quite unfortunate what this part is doing. Instead of you to spend time trying to defend how your candidate won the election, you are just interested in disqualifying documents, making sure you don't admit this, don't attend to this, don't listen to that. He knows that what's more important in election is whether voting took place, result declared, collation was done. If anyone must attack any result, there has to be a polling unit by polling unit allegation and proof. That the mere fact that something happened in one polling unit does not mean it also happened in another. He notes that the petitioners needed to prove that upload was not done by proving it in all polling units one after the other. Is this not sorry, this is crazy. This is like someone is sick. You started off, and I need people to know, you started off saying you adopt what the first respondent, that's INEC's lawyer, said and what Olanipekun said. Then you went further and said that the petitioners needed to prove that upload was not done by proving it in all polling units one after the other. Don't you think you are contradicting yourself? When INEC lawyer already agreed that upload was not done, they're only just saying that upload does not affect this thing. Now you are still saying you needed to prove after you adopted. Very confused people. Rerun. Secondly, for rerun, he knows that rerun is a 2-horse race between two leading contenders. You don't declare. These people are looking for rerun now. See, come and see it. That is winner and runner up. And that it is not available. That it's not available to the petitioners. Even if the court must do this, the court must ask, where is the man who came second? Disqualification. He knows that everybody is qualified except they suffer from section 137(1)(d) of the Constitution. And Exhibit PA, that's the US court case, cannot be accommodated under that section. So Exhibit PA is bereft of valid criminal conviction. He knows that PW1 admitted under court examination that there was no persecution or accused in the case. For FCT, he knows that the FCT does not enjoy any special status as far as presidential election is concerned, that a candidate must not even score anything in FCT as far as he's able to get 25% in 24 states, in 24 of the other states. For the court to rule otherwise will amount to constitutional absurdity. On IRF, that the Supreme Court in SC, Oyetora versus INEC, have settled this matter. Elofabemi is choking on his word and losing his voice. He should be giving water, please. Lies choke a lot. Oh, apparently, I think that choked him because I don't know why he said the Supreme Court have settled the matter. Actually, the Supreme Court really have settled the matter. I'm switching between a lot of screens, so just give me a moment. All right, I want to be done with UC Maxwell before I read that of Sarah, so that we can get other perspectives to it. Okay. Yeah, okay. UC Maxwell say lies choke a lot. He urges the court to dismiss the petition. All right. I think it's the turn of San Levy. It's the turn of San Levy. But I'll allow UC Maxwell to accumulate that. Let me just read what Sarah said about Fabemi before we go to San Levy from UC Maxwell. Sarah's own is quite is relatively similar, but I just want to point out some. Sarah said APC lawyer is now up. Fabemi takes stage. Fabemi, my lord, it's as simple as it is. I join my learned colleagues as usual, adopt and should be quickly dismissed as it's a waste of time. So this petition is ambitious. This is the petitioner's forthcoming on the case of electronic transmission. The first time was at this, I think we've talked about that. Sarah said this one is on Colos. Fabemi, if anyone wants to attack any result, there has to be a poly unit by poly unit allocation. There was a glitch in poly unit. There was a glitch in poly unit A, but not in poly unit B. But the petitioner said that there was no glitch in their own places. They won, and they should at least have their proof. Now, in the issue of Iran, if it should be a two-man race, and that is between the winner of the election and the runner-up, are these lawyers that are talking? I don't understand. Who knew when only the constitution? APC are actively looking for a rerun. Sarah says it like it is. APC are actively looking for a rerun. They now know there is nowhere to run to. I thought you people said you won. They don't want Peter Obi and Labour Party on the ballot. That is their game now. Fabemi says, my lord, so on disqualification, everyone can run in an election as long as you ran in the election, you're not disqualified. Wait, it's like someone has fainted. One APC baby lawyer is having breathing problems. I hope she gets okay. Okay, apparently I think there was an emergency in court. The court is waiting for them to take her out and give her the attention she needs. APC lawyer. Where your lawyer dey lie? How you no go? Sorry, hope she gets better, according to Sarah. Fabemi, my lord, on the issue of forfeiture, the court already gave the second respondent a clean bill of health on that. Then on the 25%, the constitution states 25 states of the federation, even if the candidate scored 0 in FCT. Why? He said the constitution states in FCT. In 25 states stands. And there is no dispute that the second respondent scored 25% in 29 states. And to put FCT higher would amount to constitutional absurdity. One INEC lawyer just stood up and crossed leg to pass note to Fabemi. I don't know if that is allowed. Fabemi, my lord, on the glitches, so they're not a giver expo. On the glitches, Fabemi started sounding like he was crying. Oh, this Maxwell was right. He was really choking. His voice became funny. Everyone started laughing while he was talking. And it was difficult to hear him. One baby lawyer ran and gave him water. Justice Ugo says it's a voice glitch. Everyone starts laughing. Fabemi goes around and says, yes, my lord, since time is up, let me say that INEC scored a high mark in this election. At least 50% is a pass mark. And INEC scored 90%, which is more than enough of the petitioners are only complaining about the glitch. So, my lord, I seek that the petition be thrown out. All right, San Levy is now up with the microphone. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right, I think now we have San Levy up. I don't know if I should start with Sarah or start with UC Maxwell. Let me start with Uncle Akadi, what did you say? Okay, I thought you said something. Let me start with UC Maxwell. UC Maxwell today serious. Because if you try to say that, you don't laugh before you call the squeeze face. All right, UC Maxwell, sorry, give me a moment. Sorry. All right, San Levy. All right, the petitioners filed their final address in response to the first respondent on the 23rd of July 2023. In reaction also to the second and third respondents' written address, the petitioners filed their response. Finally, in reaction to the fourth respondent's written address, the petitioners filed their response. It now seeks to adopt and rely on the final address of the petitioners, urging the court to uphold the petition. San Levy's words: it is our submission that the respondents have all labored in vain to discredit the importance of the IRF in the election process, because even in the Oyetola case, the Supreme Court held that the IRF is part of the election process. I now refer to paragraph 22 of the witness deposition of respondent witness 1. That means that INEC pastor that came, where he said, I know, he's quoting what that lawyer said, what the man said, what the INEC staff said. I know that the authentic and statutory prescribed portal where results can be assessed and verified is the IRF portal. INEC staff said that in court. My lord, I'll drag the respondents from their comfort zone. Hey, guys, get ready. An election where over 18,000 blood results were uploaded to the same IRF portal is a flawed election. There is something remarkable about this matter. INEC issued purported CTCs of polling unit results to the petitioners. Out of that number, 8,123 of that result were blurred. Some were blank copies of A4 paper, plain papers, and also among them, we had pictures certified by INEC. I mean, pictures of human beings. How can they say they conducted an election properly, so-called? Dr. Levy on the beat, according to Yuzu Maxwell. All right, going on. My lord, let me repeat myself. Court says we heard you the first time. It is our submission that a certified true copy must be the replica of an original. It must be, my lord. What this presupposes is that INEC can only have in their custody blurred and blank results on the basis of which they returned someone as a winner. Of course, that explains their inability to provide the original copies of those results they certified, because it could have not been any other thing other than blurred sheets, blank sheets, pictures, and many other things. My lord, let me go to the issue of fine and forfeiture. It is not in doubt that the second respondent forfeited the sum of $460,000 US, being proceeds of narcotics trafficking and money laundering. It is not in doubt. Hey God. They don't want to hear that because it makes them uncomfortable. My lord, our case is on section 137(1)(d) of the Constitution. And whatever they are talking, the respondent cannot create a case for us. It's not by force. I don't want to go to your case. Leave me alone. Let me add that one. The provision says, any court or tribunal, my lord, there is an attempt to claim that the first respondent, Peter Obi, in bracket, is first petitioner, is not accommodated under section 134(3)(b). Oh. It is our submission that the only candidate who is fit squarely in that provision is the first petitioner. Giving it a perverted or wrong interpretation certainly cannot work. Where's my phone? Sorry. People should not be angry. I needed to do that. I'm so happy. My lord, the case of Awolowo and Shagari was cited But the provision under the Constitution now was not available to interpret in that case. Certainly not. Oh, people should wait. That place has paused, so I need to refresh my browser. I'm so glad they pointed that out. The only person that is qualified to participate in even in the so-called what they are saying, it is actually the first petitioner. And they were giving it the wrong interpretation. Alone, God bless you, Sandy. Anyway, my lord, the case of Awolowo and Shagari was cited. But the provision under the Constitution now was not available to interpret in that case. Certainly not. My lord, let me quickly refer to what Sam Wole said, that the petition was abandoned. I couldn't believe this coming from a brother I respected so much. Peter Obi style, my well-respected elder brother. My lord, a petition he claimed abandoned and he spent time responding to it. My lord, the facts are not there. It's fictional. I don't want to spend much time on the requirement of 25% in FCT. And the respondents never argued to the court to interpret the usage of and as or. That is, to interpret and as disjunctive. I didn't hear from them that because I don't get glitch. I didn't hear that from them because it will result to manifest absurdity. I submit with the greatest respect that the petitioners approved their petition, and particularly the issue of non-compliance. They provided no defense. At some point, because there was no defense, they blamed the printing toner used in printing. That was true. In their reply, they almost said maybe why it was blood is because the toner in the printer it was not good. I usually forget to state that. That couldn't have been. The glitch, according to them, lasted only 4 hours. Yet, they were giving us certified true copies, blood result until 29th May. 4 months after the election. So, how do you reconcile the two? It is not possible. Finally, my lord, they went to the issue of Amazon. Court, your time is up. That's the problem. The respondent, all of them, they are 20 minutes. You want to still give me 20 minutes. Your time is up. 1 more sentence and I'm done, my lord. The sentence is, the petitioners have proved that there was no glitch whatsoever as alleged by the respondent, as it pleases my lords. Let me clap again. Really for sure, I beg. I think that was it. All right, from Sarah. Sarah says, all right, San Libby is now up with the microphone. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. San Libby, my lord, it is my submission that the respondents have labored in vain to diminish this petition. Sarah, leave me. San Libby, as the case of Oyetola versus INEC, where the Supreme Court said IRF is a part of the electoral process, my lord, I will seek your indulgence to refer you to the paragraph 22 of the witness deposition of ROW1, as like I said, the INEC staff, which all the respondents have preferred to ignore. And I would like to further drag them out of their comfort zone. The witness, their own witness, said the authentic portal on which results can be accessed for review or determination of the election is the IRF portal. Their witness, Naitoka. Now, and that's even their IT staff, their IT deputy director. Now, they are saying that RF is no more important. And an election where 18,000, say like always saying 88,000, where 18,088 blood results were uploaded on the RF is a flawed election. So that say, oh yeah, fire. She puts fire emoji 3 times. Livy. All right, Livy, my lord, let me say this. Okay, Livy was like, my lord, INEC gave result to the petitioners to present in this court. And 8,000, okay, I say I keep on the type 8 2 times. And 8,123 of those results were blood, and they were certified by the same INEC. And some were even blank copies of A4 paper certified. Among them, you find pictures certified by them. INEC, certified by them, INEC, and they want to say that they conducted an election properly, so-called. My lord, let me repeat myself, Justice Amani, we have heard you. Livy continues, my lord, let me say this. It is my submission that a certified true copy is a document. Of a document must be an exact replica of the original. Must be. There is no choice. You cannot give a blood CTC. You cannot give blood CTC INEC. Blood CTC INEC can only have it in its custody, blood blank result, and not the original. And so they have no basis as to what they use to declare that result. They only went to declare someone a winner, and they don't even know, and they don't even have the original copies of results is certified, because it could never have been it could never have been any other thing apart from the blood results and pictures. Fire on San, according to Sarah. San Living, my lord. The second respondent forfeited 460,000 on narcotics. They don't want to hear that. Narcotics. Emphasis on narcotics. Okay. Give me a moment. Let me try that. Yeah, narcotics. Living, my lord. They have been quoting section 137D. They are trying to form a case for us and avoiding the main case. Even when you focus on money laundering, which was part of the crimes of the second respondent, the narcotics should not be ignored. And the Constitution is clear on such crimes. Now to rerun, my lord, let me be clear. The only candidate who comes clear for a rerun is the first petitioner. According to section 131D, according to section, I think it's 1343D, or yeah. And my lord, in the case of Awolowo versus Shagari, of course, the provision now was not available then in that case. And let me quickly refer to what the lawyer of the second respondent said, that the petition has been abandoned. And I can't believe this is coming from a brother I know. Petition that you spend time filing replies and you don't even have replies to file is what you are saying abandoned. A petition where you don't even have any witness. He says fire. Leave it, my lord. I don't want to spend time talking about FCT because the Constitution is clear on it. None of them even define the meaning of hand. I didn't hear that from them, from any of them, whether disjunctive or otherwise. And that will lead to manifest absurdity. And they know. And they know so that is why they ignored that and did not urge my lord to interpret the hand as being disjunctive. The clerk rings the bell. Living, my lord, I'm replying 3 people. My time is not up. Exactly. This is not up. I was going to replying 3 people. Living, my lord, the petitioners approved their case. And to the issue of non-compliance from INEC, they have no defense. They said because of toner. That's why results CTC than blood. 4 months after was when they explained a 4-hour glitch. 4 months after. Up until 29th of May, they were still giving us blood documents of election results. 4 months after elections. How can you reconcile the two? It's not possible. Justice Tamani, your time is up. Sanlivi, my lord, 1 more sentence. The petitioners have proved that there was no glitch whatsoever in this election. May it be may it please my lordship. Justice Amani, okay, we announce the date for judgment to you all. Leonard Sick, this is it, it's done, it's going to be a testimony. All right, let me just see if you actually added any other thing for. I think that will be it if there is nothing added from this Maxwell. So, guys, those were fireworks. I'm particularly very excited because I was thinking they won't try to make reference to how much they've tried to misconstrue that part of the Constitution where, even in a rerun, Peter Obi is more qualified than Atiku and Tinubu put together. When Tinubu have been disqualified for drug trafficking. So I'm glad that they made reference to that because you know one thing about, you know, they're trying to prove the case as, you know, they won the election and all that, or, you know, what about they are trying to prove the case as all these people will make all these side comments, and if you don't say anything about it, they will now go ahead and just say whatever they want. Okay, I think this Maxwell has something additional. All right, okay, said court, all documents haven't been adopted. The date of judgment will be communicated to all parties as the court pleases. The court was heard to have said at a point that it had read the final addresses. This is beautiful. Wole Olanipeku thanks the court for tolerating all the parties and wishes all of them well and prays that the author of justice leads the justice aright. Amen. Sanli Bezoku adopts what Wole Olanipeku has just said and wishes the justices God's guidance when they start to discharge this very important, difficult, and national assignment. Justice Bolaji thanks everyone, senior and junior lawyers, the press, the general public, and everyone who has been committed to this petition. The fact that parties have chose to ventilate their case in court is a testament of democracy in Nigeria. That Nigeria will stand at the end of the day. It shall be well with everyone. Me, thanks to so this Maxwell said me, thank you all. Thank you to all of you for your usual cooperation. Now, more than ever, all eyes must be on the judiciary. Thank you very much, Lucy Maxwell. I want to adopt Lucy Maxwell's last sentence. I've said this in so many spaces that the toughest time is going to be in the coming days before this judgment is made. So I really, really urge everybody on this case, wherever you are listening from, that in the coming days, when you wake up, when you eat, when you are walking, when you are sleeping, all you should be thinking and doing is all eyes on the judiciary. Any way you want to go about it. As a matter of fact, there was a video that surfaced yesterday of when IBB was, giving an interview about military coup. And that video, I think, is a video that needs to keep going around. So I've said that at least, if possible, every day, but at least often, I'm going to keep posting that video. You will get tired of it if you're on my timeline. You will say, this guy is posting it every day. Sorry, but not sorry. I'm going to keep posting it so that the judiciary will know that from a man that has done military coup before is telling you what prompts a military coup. I'll play that, maybe after a couple of speakers on the space. And I'll play it again, maybe tonight on Violence Space again. And I'll keep playing it so that the judiciary will keep hearing it and know that what prompts a coup, everything that prompts a coup is currently in Nigeria. The only person that is holding it from happening, or the only person that is holding Nigerians from outrightly taking back their country, is one man. His name is Peter Obi. So if you disenfranchise that man in court, then you have Nigerians to deal with. And just pray you will not even begin to have the military to deal with. At that point, thanks to everybody that listened. We will now take submission. And meanwhile, stay around. UC Maxwell will come very soon. And when UC Maxwell comes, he's going to give us more. Some of the things that he couldn't type, he's going to give us more, like words. We're going to hear it from UC Maxwell directly. There are a couple of things that, like I said earlier, I had someone in court today that went to court today that was, telling me some of the things that was said, privately. And one of the funny things that there was a reaction. I want to hear it from Mr. Maxwell because I don't understand the way the person put it. So I want to hear it from Mr. Maxwell. There was a reaction that the court, I think one of the justices said something to Wole Olanipeku when he was talking about 2/3, 1/4 of 2/3 in FCT. Like the judge said, somebody said something, and I think it was a judge. So I would want to hear it from Mr. Maxwell. So if you really want to also hear what that is, I hope Mr. Maxwell can remember how he heard it. If you also want to hear what that is, just stay around. I will also ask the person that told me to clarify what, to be very sure. All right, thanks to everybody. So we'll just continue with the space, keep making submissions. Uncle Akadi, I know I saw your hand up at some point. So I don't know if you want
I was just I think my mood was swinging between indignation, because it was a little bit more than anger at what Mahmoud had done, which is what we've always said, that it's not just up until the 29th of May, even as we speak. And that's also what was aptly captured by the EU observers, that this crook cannot still come out here and say, these are the numbers and this is where they derive from. But he's made a pronouncement which has set this country on a trajectory that is unpalatable. People are dying, people are losing hope, people are losing their lives. Some young people took their own lives because they had invested very heavily and they had hope that this was going to be a turning point. So I'm just saying this, if you know Mahmoud Yakubu, that it is not, this is beyond electioneering, it's beyond you being in politics or someone rigging an election, but that he has destroyed lives. And it's not just God, we are going to hold him accountable on this side of eternity. Because you can't tell me, they ask you for certified, I don't know what they thought was going, that people would just close their eyes and walk away, or a papa will come in there with his gray beard and then say he's summoned all the attorneys to report to him he's withdrawing the case. So the more I think about it, the more angry I get. And like I've said, and I want to repeat it again for the umpteenth time, if we let this slide, then whatever progress we thought we would have made with this will just be eroded. Because after he was able to do that nonsense, you will see that in some of the other elections, down to the governorship and House of Assembly, they started pulling the same stunts all over the place, where they would just hold on. Even if things have been uploaded, they would just hang on, shut it down, and then start making some spurious announcements that is disconnected from everything we know. So I'm glad that, again, Sir Levy was able to stand up there and say, and use the word narcotics, and use the word money laundering. because these are very, very important things. It's for us, it's what we have to decide is the future we want as a people, the country we want. It's beyond saying this person is an amazing politician or this person is this. It's what the minimum we are willing to accept from people that we want to elect into office. I'm still around, so I'll just let our people have their say. I think we'll try and be conscious of time. I've seen Mr. Kolade. IRF was mentioned a lot today, so God bless
Sorry,
you. Yeah.
Before you go, I want to play that video I was talking about. I think it's like
okay.
Yeah.
Is it iBaby?
Yes.
You know the thing with Eyebrow is he was involved in almost every coup from 1966 and he genuinely believed his own was going to be the last. But of course, Abacha's wasn't really a coup because the guy handed over to him. But yeah, so you go for it.
Yeah. So the real message from this is not really about the coup. I just want people to keep resounding that everything that leads to that is already in the air. Because I think this judiciary, they may want to run mad. So when they want to run mad, maybe they think say, don't just run mad. Make sure that you can maintain the energy. So I'll go ahead.
At the outside, we knew in 1983, that when you had an election and Shagari was voted in as in his second term as a democratically elected president, we could have toppled that government in 1982 before the elections. And then we said no, the people might go against us. We knew damn well that they were not going to conduct that election truly and fairly. And therefore, you see, to stage a coup, there is one basic element that everybody looks for. Frustration in the society. Right. So when 1983 when you voted, everybody was not happy. It was rigged, it was this, it was that. And the frustration built up. We find coup easier when there is frustration in society.
So I think if you didn't pick that up, I'll post it on or post it up on Jumbotron. But the point that is key is that he said they knew after Shagari won the election that they wanted to topple the government, but they felt like, oh, the people will revolt. It even means the military, as worse as they were, even feared the people. So they knew the people would revolt, but they waited because they know that the other election was going to be rigged. And that election was eventually rigged, and there was frustration. That for you to have a successful coup, that there's one element to look out for is frustration among the people. And like Uncle Akadi said, this is a man that has participated in literally all the coup except the one that removed him from president. So I need that message to keep going to the judiciary's ears every time. Let them not get Nigerians to a point where Nigerians in frustration will begin to even wish. I see a lot of Nigerians, I'm not saying a lot, I myself included, to be honest, beginning to say, if we are going to have, if we have the choice between APC and military, I mean, we just go ahead. And that's the only choice we have. We would want something better, but if the judiciary wants to stifle our neck and say, this is the only choice you have, then we too will not have. I mean, we only have two choices. Either we go outrightly to take back our country revolutionarily, or we will beg people, if we think we don't get mad enough, which is usually the case in Nigeria most of the time, people just move on. People will start to voice it, and that frustration will be all over the air. And also the judiciary learns that lesson. Mr. Kolade, please go ahead.
Oh, my brother, thank you so much. Uncle Akaji, this is not time for us to discuss IRF or AWS or anything again. At least we don't pass that stage. We thank God for that. Ngozi, God bless you so well. I see everybody out there. God bless all of you. I've been listening all day, and in fact, I was just happy. I was just smiling, laughing at some points that, man, at least look at this point. I personally, I don't see what the justices want to do at this point. There is absolute nothing they can do. Nothing, because our lawyers killed it. Even with this, their final oral arguments, what they don't want to hear, they said it directly to their faces. So let them now come and say that money for narcotics or whatever is not whatever. I don't know how they want to get out of this. Or let them come and tell us that 18,000 blood result, even as presented by INEC, does not mean anything. I don't know how they want to get out of it. But as we have always said, I think now is it. Now we have something to stand on. We've listened to the arguments, and within us, each person can now make me. I've made my own decision. My own. There's nothing you can tell me. I'm not a judge, but in my own layman opinion, this is done, dusted, and over with. We are just waiting on them whether they want to set this country ablaze or they want to toe the path of righteousness, of justice, of upholding the oath of their office. We shall know, and we are all looking. Thank God they are listening to us online. Thank God. And because I knew it, they have family members, they have children who would send messages to them that look, they are talking about you, daddy. Daddy, read what they said. It's time for daddy. Daddy will hear more from us. They will hear more. Daddy and mommy, they will hear more from us this time around. Because let's see how they want to get out of this. The what's it called? The Tinubu people and co. They've admitted in court. They admitted that okay, they are not saying this, but they are just what is on bended. Which nail are they bending on? Bending on you for what? So please, it is now the time for the justices to now tell us on whose side they truly want to stand. And I'm so happy. I just want to thank everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You've done so much for Nigeria. And one thing I know, as in all of this, Nigeria and the future will be kind to all of us. Thank you so much. I yield the mic.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Koladi. All right, quickly, let's just go straight to Idowu, after which we'll come to Lorena.
Yeah, good evening, women in Nigeria. Good evening, Uncle Akaji. Good evening, Her Excellency. I'm not sure if she's still available.
Now you won't carry me too much.
I'm just saying you. All right. So I appreciate you, women in Nigeria. Thank you very much for the updates. But I've been following your, analysis. It has really been a top notch. I think you even help maybe at times for my reporting because I just listen to everything, then I try as much and summarize the point so that anybody that pick up the article will be able to understand. All right, so I'm just going to react to the Niger coup. Of course, we know Niger is a neighboring country, so whatever that is happening in Niger now, it's a matter of time. If it's not well managed, it might spread. I'm not trying to create fears in our mind, but this is the reality on ground. And that's why it's important that the so-called, ECOWAS leadership must be very careful with the way they handle, the crisis. So there's need for uh, peacekeeping resolution in this case. I don't think the use of force right now is even the solution because we all know that the major reason for coup d'etat in Africa is as a result of bad leadership, corruption, and mismanagement and misappropriation of fund by the political elite. So if these fundamental problems are not being addressed, so we'll keep hearing news of coup in not only in West Africa, in the entire continent. because this has been like a norm in the system. And it's important that the Western world, needs to where they understand, but because of their own interests, they try to shy away from this fundamental problem. So the ECOWAS must, be careful with the way they handle things. And this brings me straight to, the Nigeria leadership in ECOWAS. They've already made a bold statement saying that they are going to use force to restore democracy, constitutional democracy in Nigeria. And I laughed. Of course, we know that a house that is divided against itself cannot stand. So if Nigeria, being the so-called giant of Africa, if they must show what I call the leadership spirit, then we need to put something in order in our country. Of course, we know the situation in the country right now. Just today, we saw some people that took to the streets to protest. So, but for me, I don't think protest is even the solution right now, because the deeds has been done. So, what is the way forward? Judiciary. So, our eyes would always be on the judiciary. I think, just as Wemini rightly said, I totally agree with you. They are the ones to either decide the destiny of Nigeria right now. They are the ones to either make or mar, our democracy. They are the ones to decide whether Nigeria would continue with his democratic system or not. So the onus lies on them, and they have to be very careful. Just rightly what Primate Ayodele said, that their judgments can either uh, uh, attract God's wrath or otherwise. So it's important that whatever decision or judgment they are going to give in this stance, they must do the right thing. So it is not a matter of threatening, but we are telling them to do the right thing. I think that's the only thing that Nigerians need right now to regain the sanity in our system. Thank you so much. I yield the mic.
Yeah,
All right.
thank you, Heidi. I'm sorry. I just wanted to do a breaking news. I just seen a tweet from David Hundeyin, pardon me, about a plane crash in
Yes.
Obanazawa.
Sorry, I think 4 people have been rescued so far. So it happened
Okay.
around Obakran just a few minutes ago. Yeah.
Okay. So it did happen. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to confirm that. So I hope everybody's can account for their relations and everyone is safe. Thank you so much. I will yield back to you, well-meaning.
All right, thank you very much, Okwakaji. All right, quickly, let's go straight to I think I said Lorena here. After which you come to OGA. OGA, I know you have been here for a long time. Lorena, OGA, then we'll take it from there.
Greetings from here to everyone. I want to appreciate everyone, the 1 Million March crew. You guys have just been amazing. And I really appreciate you guys for what you do, for us keeping us abreast of all the happenings at court. I also want to laud the effort and performance of our legal team. They have really showed that their, their knowledge of the law, they have really put the message, they have passed the message in such a way that it is undeniable what they have brought to court and the argument they have, they have brought forward. The respondent, on the other hand, have just showed us how ignorant of the law they are. They have just showed us how they don't even know their responsibilities and their duties. In this country, I thought we have what we call separation of power. The judiciary is to interpret the law, not to make laws. Our laws are very clear, but obviously from the outings of the respondents, you can see that they are trying to make new laws, not interpreting the law the way it is. It's just for them to interpret the law, interpret it, say it the way it is. Now they are trying to make new laws for us. But then we have pushed the narrative that this man is a drug baron. Even me, in my church mind now, I know that Tinubu, of a truth, is a drug dealer. Was and is still a drug dealer. I like that point. It has become so obvious, so known in this country that Tinubu forfeited that money, truly. And that money, the account does not operate on its own. Yesterday I was ransacking and looking at myself, have my knowledge of bank account and everything. Does it mean that I know how these things work? If there was any money in your account that you are not aware of the origin, you're supposed to report before the law, traces such fund to your account. And anything that happens in your account, it is you. You are the owner of the account. You take responsibility. Is now I'm hearing that accounts operate themselves. So all narratives is well established, and every eye is on the judiciary. I'm just waiting to see. What is it that when we see black, they will not say it is wash, it is now white. They will whitewash it. There's nothing like that. And I like what is happening at this time. Everything is divinely orchestrated. I believe that God is involved in this struggle. Nigerians are all awake. We are doing our bit, and everything else is working together. This is what they say: all things work together according to the scriptures. What is happening in Niger is just in time. It tells when you fail, everybody doesn't want to fail like you, so they will take a step. The coup in Nigeria is not different. In fact, it's worse than the coup in Niger. I don't know why somebody that is a coup plotter is now moving against a fellow coup plotter. It's the same. In fact, yours is worse. So the coup in Niger is not far. And I'm worried because I live in this part of the country that we are so close. If you know the north, there's what we call Amalanke. That is what they used to cross to Niger. Niger people come to the market that is close here. So I wonder how they are going to fight Niger, engage Niger in a warfare without our people being hurt. Many of our people that that left because of the bandits, they took refuge in Niger. Are they bringing them back? They are in their numbers, in their hundreds of thousands. So the whole thing, Nigeria and Niger, we are one. No? If you're in the north here, you find out that Niger and Nigeria, not just boundary separate us. So let Nigeria not be at the receiving end. These bets they are using Tinubu, as because he's looking for this. Let it not be. Let the judiciary do this so that they can avert any ill consequences. That is my take. The judiciary should do the right thing. They will not be left out. This country is good the way it is. Let us try to take the pieces that are left and move on. But the judiciary must do what they are supposed to do. If they don't do it, this country will not remain this way. There will be an action. But the thing is, when that action is taken, will it be in their favor or against them? And I know it will never be in their favor. We are seeing it around the world. And Nigeria is not in isolation from the world. So I really want to laud the performance of our legal team and everyone that has been on this course. Yep. Every eye on the judiciary, we are just there. And I know that justice will be served because every evidence to proclaim justice is just there. It's just there. Everyone, we have been saying it. It has been that way. And the final address today, everything is just the finishing touches have been put. So the judiciary don't have any excuse than to do the right thing. Just do the right thing. Let's move forward as a nation. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much,
I
Lorena.
appreciate this. You're welcome. Thank you so much.
All right, okay. So let's quickly move over to OGA, after which we'll go to Mommy Bolanle. But please, let's try to speak within maybe a short time, maximum of 3 minutes, so that we can get more speakers before you see Maxwell comes. I don't know what they're doing in court, but let's see if we can get you to Maxwell here before we round up this place. All right, OJ, please go ahead.
I don't think the person is here, so just move on to the next speaker. Bolade, go ahead.
Good evening, people from my side. How are you, Ngozi? My brother Odo Akaji. Well, me Nigerian, I hear. Oh my God, and everyone else on the space. I don't have much to say. Probably won't even speak for 3 minutes. All I can say is I am very glad that Dr. Levy said they should go first, because when I was listening to all the stuff that they were saying, that well meaning Nigeria, it's like I felt hot. I was so angry because I'm like, what is wrong with these people? Why, it's almost as if they really, really just want to set out to to confuse everybody. So I was so glad, because otherwise it would have been a difficult period of time waiting for the judgment. Because the last thing you read or heard is what's gonna play on your mind. So I'm so glad that the last voice I kind of have in my head is that of Dr. Levy giving.
Bolande, I know that feeling. I know that feeling.
Because I was like, at a pause, which third respondent is talking, let them hurry up, because I needed to hear what he was going to say. And it wasn't convoluted, as nothing we've written has been. It has been quite straightforward, and he was straightforward with it. He went straight to it. Basically they are trying to rejig our laws, and make the case a case that we didn't make. So all of this huffing and puffing and all the rest of it came down to the 4 key points he made, and it sums up our case really. And that's all I wanted to say. Thank you. I yield the mic.
All right, thank you so much, Bolale. Please, if you're up here and you like to speak, can you raise your hand? OG, I noticed that you were about speaking. So are you ready now? OG, going.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank you. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Okay, yeah, I think it's better now. Thank you. First of all, I just want to acknowledge the dignitaries here. Women in Nigeria, I'm seeing you everywhere. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well done for the good work you are doing. Okay, quickly. You see, this is a memorable time
Yep.
for the whole of Africa. Can you hear me?
Are you using an earpiece?
Yes.
Rem-
Okay, is it better now?
Way better. Please, you can go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. Okay, yeah, like as I was saying, this is a memorable time for the whole of Africa. Africa is trying to take control of their destiny. The US and the Europe wouldn't allow that. They will want to do everything to throw Africa into a war zone. And Tinubu, be the daft human being that he is, he wouldn't listen to anybody. He put his own interest first before the people. I used to tell people that if I was to beat Peter Obi, right from the moment that Yakubu announced Tinubu as the winner of that election, I will counter-announce it. But I really commend Obi. Even seeing all this nonsense, the whole of this nonsense that is going on, and he still stomach it, and being the good person that he is, he wants to go through, a peaceful process in reclaiming back his mandate. I get angry. We keep saying all eyes on judiciary. Right now, I really don't care about what judiciary do. I don't care about what Tinubu do. In fact, all I care about right now is what we, the people, are going to do. I don't trust the judiciary. Hearing is different from seeing it yourself. The reason why these people wouldn't allow PEPT to televise the PEPT case is because they knew what they are doing. The evidence is too much. For the fact that Tinubu is even there as the president, it boils my heart. He's not even supposed to be there at all, at the first place, in a country that is working. What is he doing there? Look at the hardship that is going on right now because of the fuel subsidy removal. And look at the address that he gave yesterday. It showed clearly that these people does not have plan from day one. They want to purchase 20-seaters bus with huge amount of money that could be used to, develop other sector of the economy. By the end of 6 months, you won't even be able to recognize those buses anymore. Do these people think before, coming to talk to the public about the policies that they want to execute? Well, like I said, I am just waiting for the day that Nigerian will say, yes, we are reclaiming, we are taking back our country. That is the day I'm waiting for. Thank you, and I yield the mic.
All right. Thank you so much. Moving on. Arrigo Saki, then Mandate Restoration Ministry Robots, then Kingsley, then their first son. So if you like, if you're up here.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How far?
Fine. Good day, everyone, and good day, Ngozi and well-meaning, and the one MMMC. Yeah, today the Lord's name should be praised, for He has done it again today. Yeah, but I really want to ask just one question. I don't know. Well-meaning, I don't know whether I don't know what you think about what Oladipo said about presence and not past tense. The issue of forfeiture, the issue of Section 137D. Do you think it will be another line of argument that might sway the judges?
Oh, okay. You're asking me outrightly. I wanted to see if I can pull out their reply. Their reply. So
no, today they said something about
they just said it in court. I wanted to see if I can pull it up because I think so they said it in their reply as well. The truth is that See, I think my mind is at where Bolanli's mind is at. So first of all, I think at this point, I was already done when I did the final address, but of course, I just for the sake of being a skeptic that you don't just want to feel like you are too confident, you just want to see everything through. But I mean, just to answer your question, really, that's a very funny argument. To be honest, that's a very, very, very funny argument. I mean, if you follow this case, which I know you've done, you've discovered that they've traversed different kind of arguments. They've gone through, it was not in the Nigerian courts. First of all, if you notice that Peter Obi's lawyer, in all his response, didn't even find it necessary to answer that comment, answer that particular one, because it's totally unnecessary. I mean, if he had gone so low to be talking about past tense and present tense, that would have been very low. It would have been like he went to play with them in the mood. Let's take it for what it is. If he was on, first of all, someone that is under a fine or prison or sentence, will the person be contesting for election from prison? If the person is under, let's take it like they want to say, it's a literal meaning of is means you are still under, was means you were under. So is the constitution not going to be daft if the constitution is saying the person is under, which simply means, you are still paying the fine or you are still serving jail term? If you get what I'm saying. So even technically, when you say someone was under something, like, I mean, even legally, it simply means that it's something that you've done at some point. Of course, they try taking it to subsection
Yeah.
one.
Can I interject a bit too?
Yes, interject.
Yeah, what about section 139E that has the 10 years condition?
So
was it reported in the present?
Adibosaki, hold on. You've read it, Ba? Are you on the document?
No.
D. For everybody listening, don't think Adibosaki. Arigosaki comes like this, and I like that it comes like this because it's good to play the devil's advocate, and so that it gives a room for further buttressing of what he said. What is written in the Constitution is very clear. He said he's under a sentence of death imposed by any competent court or law, any competent court of law or tribunal in Nigeria, or a sentence of imprisonment or fine for any offense involving dishonesty or fraud by whichever name called, or any other offense imposed on him by any court or tribunal or substituted by a competent authority for any other sentence imposed on him by such a court. He now said, or within a period of less than 10 years. See, if this within a period of less than 10 years applies to everything here. Everything. And I think you see Maxwell, Barrister Doja, all these, and I'm not going to his mindset speak, they've explained this.
That's not what I'm asking. That's not what I'm asking. I'm asking you that section 137E. Is it still reported with ease as present tense?
Okay, he has been convicted. Yes, he has been convicted. And sentenced for an offense involving dishonesty and or he has been guilty of a contravention of the code of conduct and so on. So my point is that how best can I explain this now? If you look at section 1371D, it will not even, my point is, it will not even make sense. And I'm just saying common sense now, not legally speaking. It will not even make any common sense to say he's under a sentence of death. Is that not redundant? With someone that is sentenced to death, he will be having time to contest for an election. And that's the question. As it just, I mean, you can ask people and say, okay, I mean, if this constitution was supposed to say someone is under with someone that is under a sentence of death be campaigning, or imprisonment, or a sentence of imprisonment, with someone that is under a sentence of imprisonment be contesting for election, I think that's like the best way to ask the question, like a reverse psychological way. So it's right. I mean, if anybody is going to fall for Olani Pekun's attempt at technicality, I don't even think, like I said, technicality, I don't think this is the strongest. This is very weak. To be honest, if you won't go to that reply, if this was a very strong argument, why did he not argue it in the meeting address? Why did he leave it for reply? So what Olani Pekun did was the strong argument. He didn't argue it. He didn't argue it in their written address. He will then come to argue it in their replies. So that's what Olani Pekun did, like literally and technically.
Yeah.
So that's what Olani Pekun did, like literally and technically.
Yeah.